Hi and welcome to Fly Fish Fly Tying. Today I want to show you a nice baitfish pattern which you can use for freshwater, saltwater fishing. So for example for pike, zander, walleye, and maybe for saltwater species. So here you see the fly, and we tie with bucktail as in the last videos because I really start liking it. Yeah, so first as always do your secured ground windings, make sure your thread is firm around the hook shank. Yeah, by the way, I like to tie with white threads because you can color them if needed later. I see it better because my eye's getting weaker and weaker. So anyway, so now we will put in the first layer of white bucktail. And yeah, you can do this, you can leave it, I trim it anyway out later. So what you want to make here is tie in a tail. So, and then make sure that all fibers are around your hook shank. So squeeze it around, take the time with your thumb and index finger. Press your thumb against the hook shank and then make sure this goes in. You can use your dubbing needle to put the fibers where you want them. So now you have to clean this up. And by the way, I time lapse these always a little. So not that you think I'm this overly fast tire, but yeah, to make the videos not too long for you. That's what I normally do. And then make sure you don't cut your thread. This is something which happens to me sometimes. And also be aware that these tips of the hooks are very, very sharp. So, and if you come along with your thread there and hit it, so your thread will break. And yeah, I secure the hair and the thread a little with super glue here. Put in some flash. So in this case, it's polar flash and pearl green. And don't make it longer than your longest fibers in the fly. Okay, now you tie another layer of white bucktail reverse, so to say. So you put the tips of the fibers towards the eye of the hook. This is like a fake hollow tying thing. So you, as you know, if you put them hollow, then you will just create a bubble in front of your hair once you fold them back. Here I really tie that back. Yeah, make sure this is all secured and firm in, and apply pressure with your thread. And you will see me, I break my thread again, which not often happens, but sometimes happens. And I don't like to cut this out of videos, so I did another mistake here, but you will learn later. Yeah, make sure your fibers are where they should be, spread evenly right and left side of the hook shank. And on the top part, so the back part of the fish imitation, the fly, I tie the bucktail in a different way. So not the reverse technique towards the tips to the eye. So you see the opposite. Because I want to have them a little more flat on the back. Technically I not have the best bucktail currently, unfortunate. And you see this is gray. I don't know if you see it because the light is strong, but it is gray. And yep, too much pull on the thread and broken. Or the wrong thread, maybe too weak. You can easily secure while winding over. I use hackle pliers in case this happens and grab the thread so that there's a weight against it and it's hanging down. And then, I put over some wraps and make sure, the material I tied in is secured. So sometimes it happens and that's not nice, and you lose your material here. That's definitely something you want to avoid. Yep, again, clean the material you don't need. Sharp scissors are really nice to have here. And this is a very nice one. It has a very pointed tip. Again, some super glue to secure the fibers and your thread. I tie in another layer of flash, and I just use 2-3 fibers of flash. I don't like too much flash in a fly, but there you could put in more if you like. I personally just don't like it. I think it gives it more a flavor as a Christmas tree versus a baitfish fly. But anyway, people are different, and some may have good experience with flash. Honestly, I had very flashy flies. I don't think this catches more fish. I even had the feeling like it's catching less. Yeah, another belly side white bucktail. Again, reverse technique. You have seen that a couple of times already, even in the last video I posted. Yep, cut this, clean it somehow. I don't know, you don't have to be overly crazy with it, but yeah, you want to make sure it is a little clean before you fold back your fibers, secure them 2, 3, 4 webs. Look that they're spread evenly, correct a little bit, and then with pressure or pull on your thread, secure them. Yeah, one more layer. And don't use too much bucktail, so less is more in this kind. So except you want to give your fly a very bulky shape. Yeah. Again, clean. And yeah, there is a comment, more tying than talking. So I don't like to put music under my videos. This is just my style, and I hope you appreciate it, and there's people who like it. Again, some polar flash. You could use crystal flash, whatever's out there, and just put some flash in. So securing with some super glue. And yes, so I think it starts looking fishy. I do one last layer, and I use a little less bucktail for the belly part and a little more for the wing part, so the back part. Yeah, again, pull it back, hold it, tie it in, squeeze it, shape it to where you want to have it. Apply some pull. And put the back layer, some gray again. Yeah, squeeze it around. Yeah, clean it. And at the eye of the hook, you want to clean more careful normally, because you don't want to have these hairs, fibers hanging in the eye of the hook. Looks better for us. I think the fish doesn't care really, but yeah, I think it just does not look very nice. Okay, so I use a lighter to burn the rest of the fibers in the eye of the hook. Some securing wraps. Some more cleaning. Some more flash. just, you see it, just a double fiber of the flesh material. Yeah, now I use some polar fiber, which is not as long as craft fur, but it's very, I like it. It's very fine material and it plays very nice in the water. Yeah, you brush it out, so technically it's like under fur in it, and then I pull out a couple of fibers there just to make some kind of a tip. Yep, so tied in with a couple of wraps, fold it back, but I think I will give it a little more. Nope, no, didn't. Okay, and then do the same for the other side. Yeah, here I'm waiting. Okay. Tied in, and then yeah, so I will give it another layer of UV glue, of the super glue, and then I tie in a little different material. So for the belly part, I take some Congo baitfish hair, which is a little like EP fiber or whatever you find. I do technically, you know, pull out some fibers to make both sides tapered, and I tie it in at the half. I don't do it too long here. I think it does not look good. It just, you know, gives some reflection in the water. Yeah, and then on the back side I use some craft fur in gray, and this time I tied in reverse because I want to shape the head a little later with some UV resin once I glued the eyes on the fly. Yeah, so craft fur same, to brush out the underfur. It's a synthetic material, but it's like underfur. It's, by the way, it's a fine hair too. It plays very nice in the water. I just think there's a couple of colors which are not as long as others. I think this is may related to the dyeing process or whatever. So you see, I pull both back, and now it's like hollow tying. Like I just give it a couple of wraps in front of where the fibers are tied in. Yeah, and then technically the fly is ready to whip finish. And then you see the second mistake I did when I put on the eyes. I forgot to film the first eye, so the eye in the direction the fly is looking to us currently. But I do it always the same, so I put some super glue on the downside of the eye, and then I place it where I want to have it, and then, you know, you can still move it a little even with super glue, because technically super glue really starts hardening when you apply some pressure on it. So, and you see I will just put glue on it, not too much. The other eye is on, sorry for not filming it, little incomplete video. So I try to adjust the eye to where I want to have it. You want to, you know, try to put them evenly. I think that's pretty nice. I want to lift it up a little and then apply pressure for a couple of seconds. So, and then it should be sit really firm. Okay, so you technically could fish it like this. I just prefer to put some UV resin in the hair, in the fibers, and, you know, between the eyes, just to make sure the eyes stay in play and my place and my whip finish is secured. That's not like scientific work here. Secured with your lamp, with your light, UV light. Yeah, and what you technically do, you when you tie with bacteria, you rinse your fly with water, so cold water, just from the tap, so to give it a shape, because you see the hair spreads out pretty strong everywhere. Yeah, you do some UV resin also on the belly side. And this is a Solaris, and by the way, I buy everything my own, so this is not like advertisement. You can use whatever is out there. You even can go to the nail studio and buy your UV resins there with a lot of colors. So this is the Solaris thin, and I have the Solaris, what is it called? It's a very, very thin, like bone. It's like a finish, like a clear vanish. It's very fluid, very thin, and you see me applying it here on the eyes and then also on all the other UV resins. So technically, if you cure that, they get a little like sticky. That's a chemical reaction of the UV resin. And so this technically does not have it, but you also could use vanish and just, put some vanish over to finish your fly, and it will not stick anymore. Okay, so the fly is more or less ready, and I will go and rinse it with cold water once it's finished. Okay, curing it. Imagine I'm leaving now and I bring it back to the vise here. So, and you see now I rinsed it and it's getting shape, and let it dry. So normally I hang them with like, yeah, tail downwards. And yes, the materialist. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.